Hey everybody, Jay and Ashley Nelson here, or Jashley. Welcome to our podcast, Married to a Realtor. We are actually both realtors, but from time to time, I was not, and now I am. And so we are just passionate about helping other couples learn to navigate being in this world and be together and happy and in love.
So one of the things that's crazy is there's so many dynamics of being married to a realtor. There's agents that are both realtors.
Yep.
There are agents that one of the wife's a realtor and the husband's not, vice versa, right? And then there's all these other things in between. What the folks we're about to bring on, I mean, guys, there are definitely a lot of other things in between, which is amazing. And they're an amazing power couple, both of them extremely successful. So Marty Grant and Bethany Webster Grant out of Smith Lake, Alabama, guys, beautiful lake where they sell real estate. And they're going to share their story about how Marty was in real estate and Bethany's now come into real estate. And they're both dynamic. They're both powerhouses. So with no further ado, we're going to bring them straight onto the podcast. So guys, give a big warm welcome to Bethany and Marty. How are y'all?
We're doing great. How are you guys doing?
Awesome. So y'all look great today. Spunky and great. Y'all always look so cool. So
lots of coffee.
Yeah, lots of coffee.
So guys, y'all are just amazing agents, icon agents at y'all's brokerage.
Which means the top rank.
Top rank. Tell us y'all's a little background on how y'all got into real estate
and
Go ahead.
Who got in first, and so give just the lead up to where you are right now.
Oh wow, you want me to start and then you can pick up. So when Marty and we've been successful in other businesses, and about 6.5 years ago, I guess. Marty always had this obsession. Like he would go, baby, let's ride around and look at houses. Like even when we were dating, like it was like, let's go. Ooh, I want to show you this house. He just had this thing about it. And he had rental properties. We had rental property. He had 8 rental properties in Mississippi. And so he was just always passionate about that. And so we actually got to Smith Lake and bought a home here, and it was our second home. We had another home in Tennessee. I'm from Tennessee. He's from Mississippi. And so I was I don't know. I'm an entrepreneur by it's my brain is always like, ooh, that business, ooh, that. I mean, all the time. And so when Marty's like, oh God, help us. Like every time I go, ooh, I have an idea. He's like, no. But thank God this time he listened. We were friends with one of our great friends, the only person we really knew here. And she was tired of where she was, and she was a real estate agent. And I said, you're going to think I'm crazy when I say this, but why don't you and her like start a real estate company? And he's like, Are you serious? And I'm like, yeah. And so the marketing part of my brain got excited about creating the name and the logo. And, I got excited about that piece. And he went and did it. And I mean, just flourished. I knew he would. We dubbed him the relationship guy. That was kind of our marketing plan for him, because he builds relationships better than anybody I've ever seen in my life. Yeah. And it's such a talent and a gift. And so he's been doing that for 6.5 years. And then you can kind of pick up where Jay and Ashley called you.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's been about 4 years now. Actually just got finished showing a property. And I look down and my phone says Jay Nelson. So I pick up the phone and call, and Jay's like, what are you doing, brother? So I just got through showing a property. What are you up to? He said, listen, I'm on to something big. And I'm like, Bethany was talking about, I'm thinking, oh Lord. And he goes, I'm going to look at another company. And I'm like, Jay, you're like one of the top agents and brokers in Nashville, and you're on a 99-1 split. Why in the world would you go look at anything else? He said, it's so much bigger than that. And listen, I've been taught my whole life to follow successful people. If you want what they have, you do what they do. And I basically just said, go out there, check it out, and call me. And to be honest with you, didn't expect a call. And about 24 hours later, he's like, bro, this is it. I'm just telling you, this is it. And I said, let me talk to Pam. And long story short,
Who was your
y'all
broker
brought
at
your
the
whole
time?
brokerage. I
Right.
mean,
yeah, we brought the whole brokerage over because, I mean, it was just a no-brainer. And, you know, it's been an unbelievable ride. EXP is probably the most profound thing that we've done as far as financial, as far as just being able to get our life back. I mean, we had a brokerage that we were paying like $3,000 a month on, and we never had anybody come in there because our lake is 500 miles of shoreline. It scatters out over 3 counties, and so we were never in the office. We were constantly out.
Always out showing on.
Yeah, I'm out on the boat looking for sell-by owners. I'm not staying in the office waiting on somebody to come to me. I'm going to them. And so we were never there. And when we saw this, it was just perfect. It's a perfect fit. And, you know, it was crazy. We've done very, very well since we came over to EXP. And, you know, like you said, hit Icon. And you know, it was crazy because last year when COVID hit, I'll never forget. I looked at Bethany. I go, babe, I said, I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And I said, but here's the thing I'm going to tell you. I'm not going to stop doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
COVID's not going to scare me. I'm just going to put my head down, and if people want to look at property, I'm showing property.
That's right.
And that's what I did, and had the best year that I've ever had with EXP, thanks to COVID. And it's because, I mean, to be honest with you, it's crazy. The people, you know, Bethany was talking about relationships. I am a relationship guy. I love building relationships with people. I love watching people experience life on the lake. And I love watching their kids grow up, because when I was a kid, we used to come on vacation every year to Smith Lake. And that was, you know, that I remember those memories more than anything in my childhood. And that's what I get so passionate about, because I want my clients' kids to remember that when they get older. And, you know, Bethany had been toying with the idea of, you know, should I get them? Should I not? And after last year, I'm basically like, all right, babe, 2 things are going to happen. Either you got to go get your license and let's do this together, or we got to hire me an assistant, because I can't. Listen, I'm so scatterbrained, and I'll just be honest with you, Jay. We're in the same boat. I gotta have somebody that's got some structure in my life. And thank God he put a woman in my life that has that. And no, I don't like the calendar. I just tell her I'm a doer. You just tell me what to go do, and I'm doing it. And
well, I mean, with you know, that's not always true.
All right, here we go now.
There's usually an argument before that, or in the midst of that.
Well, that's true.
I mean,
that
you
is
know.
true.
So, because and so and just to be totally transparent, which we don't know how to be any other way, we're as real as they come. You know, I've been very successful in other business models and had a platform. And, you know, over the last 5 years, it's been a struggle for me trying to literally going, God, what do you want me to do? Wow. You know, what is it that, because I'll do anything and I'll do it to the best of my ability. I just got to know that this is what I'm supposed to do. And so, like Marty said, I toyed with the idea, but this year we really just put our heads together, and I'm like, I'm doing it. And I just to kind of give you a
weren't you?
I'm sorry.
You were a realtor back in the day for a while, weren't you?
Yes, I was a real estate agent in Dixon, Tennessee.
Wow.
So, and I was the youngest realtor in that county by like 10 years. I was 20 years old when I got my license and became a realtor there.
Wow.
And I was not old enough to understand how to run a business. So not. And so I ended up going back to school and becoming a nurse, and, you know, the rest is history. But I always liked it. I loved my broker. She was one of my mentors. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. You know, you're doing great. We love EXP. We love you guys. And so I put my head down and, you know, went to work this summer and got my license. I mean, just studied I just literally like, everybody leave me alone. And I just hunkered down and got my license. And
Jay, and what really sucks about that, like, she passed her test the first time. It took me 5 times. So any of you guys that are out there,
Me twice.
You just have to pass it once. Okay. I passed it once and had a contract in 30 days after I passed it. But
that's, and now we're doing this as a marital partnership. You know, this is our business, and it's a blessing. We're learning. I mean, because this is very new. So I mean, I literally just started. So
and here's the hard thing.
So,
hang on.
Let me ask you a couple questions. I want to know, how do y'all because you know, here you are selling and he's in real estate and you're doing other things, Bethany. And now you know, because you're probably one of the most dynamic people I know. All right. And then all of a sudden you come into his world of real estate. Has it been just a breeze, or is it hard to kind of do this together? Because I mean, this is about being married to the person you're actually in business with. Tell us about that.
So I'll tell you from my perspective, and then then he can tell you from his perspective, because you know they're usually different. And we're both have very aggressive, dominating personalities, and so you know we always say, had we married in our 20s, it would have been a double homicide. It would have been terrible. God knew exactly the timing of when this should happen. But it was, for me, it's been hard. Like I'm so take charge. Let's roll. Let's go. And it's all the time. My brain never stops. I'm a total workaholic. It's a thing that I've got that I've never gotten over. I don't know if I ever will. I'm better than I used to be, but I'm still not great. But it is hard because I'm used to being in front of the room, doing my thing. And Marty knows more about real estate, especially on Smith Lake, than I do.
Yep.
Period. And so when I come in to go, when I'm like, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And he's like, no, we're not. We're doing this. We're going to do it this way. We're going to do it that way. We're going to do it that way. And I'm like, and then there's the piece of me that I know, you know, biblically as the godly leader of our home, that I'm super not good at submission. And so, super not. And so so I've come, it's been a challenge for us. We've had our conversations, over the last few months. We've had our conversations and I've just been like, you've got to let me be me. And you've got to understand, I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I'm just looking at it in a different perspective. So we're learning where's the middle ground. Yep. And in our other industry, we knew our strengths and weaknesses. Now we're learning our strengths and weaknesses in this industry. So go ahead.
Well, and I mean, just to piggyback off of what she said, it is hard because, like I said, for 7 years, I've been doing it a certain way. Yep. This is the way I do it. When I get a listing, this is what I do. This is what I do. And she has added in, from a marketing standpoint, she's a genius when it comes to marketing. I mean, she came up with our name. She came up with, the design. She come up with all that, the Facebook page. She's very good at that. And that is my weakness in that. But it's like she said, in our prior business, when we met, I knew what to do and she knew what to do. It wasn't a deal of, hey, you got to tell me this and this. And what I have had to understand is she doesn't know this lake as well. And I've got to slow down and not expect her, because for the last 10 years, it's been an expectation of, well, she knows what she's doing, so I don't have to worry about it. And now it's like, I did it last night, and it's just unconsciously, it's like I'm putting a listing in. It's like, babe, I need to put that listing in.
She's putting in the MLS, and I'm like, I need to learn how to do that. Like, I need to learn.
And then it's like, well, come over here and I'll show you or whatever. And then she's like, well, you're almost through, so let's just wait till the next one. But for me, it's been different because of, like I said, just having to know that she doesn't understand the lake. She doesn't understand all the areas.
That's a big lake.
She has been in real estate before, so she understands that point. And she's unbelievable with people. I mean, you guys know that. And, together we just have a passion and a heart for, this lake. And, it's just like, our tagline is, your dream, our passion. And we truly mean it. That's just not words written on a piece of paper. That is truly how we feel. And, she's a fast learner. I will say that. When we go out to get a listing now, and I'm going to brag on her a little bit. She talks about, well, I don't know this or this, but she's on Facebook one night. She's like, babe, there's this lady selling her house for $399. She's got 40 acres.
It was the week I got my license.
It was the week she got her license. I said, well, text her. So she texts her. We go meet with her the next day, get the listing. 11 days later, we got a contract to a lady in California. Wow. And, we got it for full price. So 11 days, she got her first contract. So, that's awesome. She's done unbelievable and is continuing to do that. I think since she came on board, we've got 6 listings. Mm-hmm. Wow. And we've already closed on 5.
4.
We've closed 4 and we've got 1 more closing next week. And she's amazing. Like I said, it is the cool thing about what we're doing together is like tonight, for instance. We just listed a property yesterday. I've got a showing at 5:00. She's like, baby, I can't do that. I got to take Bentley to dance class. So the cool thing is, before, if she hadn't have been here and I had to take Bentley to dance class, I would have had to rearrange my showing. And by her doing that, we can swap up and, crush this thing together.
So I just want to ask, okay, so you are both A-type personalities, and that it is a big deal. So if you're working together, even in a marriage, and you're not in the same business, that is a big deal.
It is.
And a challenge, but can also be awesome. So I'm going to just get real here. So just.
I never know what she's going to say.
I love it. I'm excited.
Okay. So for me, whenever we got together, it was emotionally hard. I had to figure out how to live with this crazy man because I was kind of equally as crazy, but somebody for us to work, we had to figure that out.
Yeah. So
for the two of you, then coming into the same business with that personality, how did that work? So if you could give some actual real emotions or challenges, and then what you did or what you're doing to overcome it, I think that would be helpful to a lot of people.
Sure. For me, it's been an emotional roller coaster. And what's funny, Ashley, is this is going to be kind of vague, but yet it's going to all tie together. So I am a very career oriented, head down. I missed ball games. I missed stuff. I traveled the world to speak. I did all of those things and missed things, right? So one of the things that drew me to want to get my real estate license here with Marty is the ability to be at home more.
Wow.
Which is not my nature. It's my nature inside of my soul to be a mom, right? But I'm not used to it. So for me, I felt like, and I still feel like I still work on it. I've given up a piece of myself.
Wow.
I'll say for me, I lost something.
Yes. And then I'm tearing up because it's
terrible to say. I feel bad saying that, but I felt like and some outside things that I lost, but it was a better gain in the long run.
Right. And I tear up because it's an immediate thing. So now I've always been the dominating person. Marty and I both have been married before, and I'm very dominating and headstrong. Not that I want to boss everybody around. I'm just a take charge person. So with Marty, that's been its own challenge in that Marty and I being both type A, we had to learn how to have a relationship together.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And I know you guys understand that too. So that's been so now I'm coming into real estate. This has been his gig. And before, what we did to make big income was my gig.
Yeah.
And now this is his gig. And so, or has been. So, and I know, and I'm not going to speak for him, but I will tell you from my perspective, there's also this piece of him that's defensive in that she ain't coming up in here in my thing and taking over my deal. And I know he feels that way. He may not say it,
I
but
know,
I'll say
it's
it.
natural.
It's a natural
It's natural.
And yeah, here she comes, the bossy woman, you know. And so, but for me, so I'm dealing with it from a spiritual standpoint. As a woman, I'm dealing with it as a mom because now we have a 5-year-old together. And then I'm dealing with it from this end as well. But it's, you know, and I want Marty to talk about his point of view. The emotions, when we fight, we raise the roof at our house. Like there's no, and listen, I would love to tell you that we sit down and we meditate together and we blah. That is a lie. That is not true. We brawl it out and we get it done. And that's me. That's more me. He's kind of learned that as time goes on.
What does that mean though? Tell people what does that mean? We get it done. Like that.
So
we
yell and scream.
What gets it done? What do you conclude on, and then it's okay?
Communication. We communicate.
Yeah.
Even if it's ugly.
Good or bad.
Even if it's ugly, it's still better than no communication.
Yeah,
even if we're at each other's throats and we're screaming and yelling.
That then. Even if you're
I'm sorry.
Even if you're yelling, then how do you resolve it? Because people could say we meditate, we separate, we yell, but what is it that makes it okay in the end? Where's the common ground? How do you find that? That's what's helpful, I think, to people.
Do y'all both
I understand what you're saying.
To get it solved?
Well, and I think what happens is, I mean, we both are very opinionated. We both think we're right all the time. And even though I'm not, I still think I'm right. But I think we get it out, what we got to say. And then once it's almost like, you feel better. Now what are we going to do to fix this?
Right.
And then it's the calm after the storm. You know, if you understand what I'm saying there,
we fight it out till we're done. Some people fight and they don't finish,
and they hold
resentment and they walk away and they don't. We keep going until I will, and he's not used to that. I will push and go. So what's the problem? What are you pissed off about? What is the deal? We will keep pushing each other until we get to the end and we go, okay,
we're tired.
What do we now?
We're tired.
Okay.
I've heard you. You've heard me.
Then Marty just takes that aggression and says, "Hey, baby, let's go listen to some Barry White, baby."
Yeah, that's never a bad thing either, you know.
Well, and here's what I'll say too. For me, I'm a thinker. I have to process, and it drives her insane because I'm constantly processing stuff, and she thinks, "What's wrong with you? What's wrong?" I'm just processing, and there are times when we're in the heat of something, I may walk out of the room because I've got to process and take a look. Okay, what have I done to participate in this? Yep. What have I done to piss her off? How could I have handled this different? And then once the storm calms down, we come back in a room together, and then we hash it out, and we may not disagree. I mean, may not agree on everything, but we may disagree or agree to disagree, but we come to a common ground of what things, it's just, and I mean, since we're being real, I'll just be real. It's like the other day, I mean, we're sitting there having an argument about real estate, how we need to do this and this. And it's like, well, I've been doing it this way. I've been, and then she finally just breaks down and she's like, I don't feel like that. I can't remember exactly.
So you said, I'll tell you, because we always remember, don't we, Ashley? Yeah. No, but he said, he's like, are you not excited about real estate? Do you not want to do real estate do what we're doing? And I said, I feel like you haven't let me be excited. You haven't let me be creative. You haven't let me be excited. You haven't let me own it. I feel like it's you and I'm just coming in and that doesn't excite me. I have to own it and feel like I'm giving as much as you give.
And
let him say something.
No, you're just saying stuff that's relating to me too. And it's you're helping a lot of people out there being as transparent on this, because this is real. And
It is real.
we all struggle with it.
Well, agree. And then, like, for me at that moment, it's like, I mean, hey, dumbass, you got to open your eyes up. I mean,
Yep.
you got somebody here that wants that you wanted to help you. You got to allow her to do that. And it was that moment, I think, for me, was my breakthrough moment of like, okay. And I mean, I just be honest. I mean, I just hugged her and said, I'm sorry.
He did.
I'm sorry. I haven't done that. I'm just used to, I'm not used to it. And it's very hard. But you know, other than last night when I forgot to let her put the listing in, but I
didn't get mad.
I've done. I mean, it's just that part of just realizing, you know, at that moment that, you know, we are way better together than we are apart.
Oh, 100%.
But I think like even you saying you have to leave, like remove yourself sometimes, like to think about it. And then if you had not done that, you would not have come back and then asked the question, what do you want? You know,
You sometimes need a minute.
Sometimes we do need a minute. And so like, that's with us, like Jay can just like explode. Like,
Man, I'm ridiculous.
He's pretty ridiculous. So he can just explode. And like, I have to remove myself. Like that would not be my natural thing, but I like have to remove myself because I know like he actually cannot think. He actually cannot function in that moment.
Yeah.
Like I need to just walk away. And then when he comes down a few levels, I can go back and then say, well, this, and always for us, I have to make it like in his perspective. I have to say, okay, if I were in the situation, I was in real estate, I already was, but if I was coming into your real estate company, you're coming into mine, and I said this to you, how would you feel? And he's like
crap.
I would want to kill you. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
You know, I was like, okay, well,
right.
It feels.
Let me make a
feels.
confession real quick. One of my biggest things that and I'm going to tell you, and I really appreciate y'all are bringing me out to say things that, you know, just hearing y'all being so, and that's what this whole podcast is about really, there's so many people that probably feel the same way we all four feel about being in real estate with their spouse.
Or just actually in a
relationship. A lot of it's just like this marriage, right?
Just in a marriage. Yeah.
But one of the things that I struggle with, and I'm terrible about it, I get in the zone and I'm like, I did this, I did that, I sold that house. And it's pretty detrimental when you know, especially when a lot, you know, it's not I mean, I'm talking about things that we did together, and I'm saying
we're showing
it's terrible.
We're showing a barn that we're building yesterday to a bunch of people, and he's like, well, when I decided to do this and I decided to do that, I might do this, and I'm like,
it sucks. I'm so what a jerk.
I'm like, that's not your ball. That's not about you. That's about what we're doing. We're building this together. So, but I also know that like that was his makeup before we were together,
yes,
you know,
yes.
But also that was my makeup before we were together. So the blending of that has not been easy, but it's been a blessing. You know, it's been a blessing.
No, and we had that in our previous business. It was me that would do what Jay's talking about accidentally. It was never intentional. And then now Marty would be on the phone with a client, and I've done this before, and he gets so mad, which is fair. But he's been on the phone and been like, well, blah, blah, blah. And I'm in the background going, we. Like, I'm like, you know, and he's like, and then he'll go, my wife and I, you know, and then he'll try to change it, you know, but it's just habit, I think, a lot of times. And I'm with you, Ashley. Like, there's part of me, like, I just wanted to like claw his eyeballs out. And then the other part of me, I'm like, yeah, I mean, I get it. You know, I've done it too. So
exactly.
Is all this stuff that regardless of whether people are realtors or not, are they all watching this?
Yes.
Oh,
I'm not even and I'm feeling this. I mean, it's
even like, so our text class, we had to change text systems for our agents. And he's like, I've sent these texts out for 5 years. I'm like, you haven't sent I send every text out. What are you talking about?
She runs the text
I
system.
send that out. Like, don't.
She runs the text system.
I'm like, don't like get on a call and tell everybody you send those texts out. No, you don't. I'm like, I know that's very small, but give me some credit.
Well, I'll speak. This is I know you guys are blended. Like,
Yeah.
hang on one second. My phone's tied to my.
Okay.
Can you guys hear us?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't see you anymore.
What?
No, yeah, but it's. Hang on one second. I think it's me.
We
Hang
see
on.
y'all, and we're still streaming,
Yeah. I think we're good.
but y'all can't see us.
No.
Hang on, we're coming back.
Let me. Here we go. There we go.
Hold on. I'm going to remove you, and then I'm going to bring them back on. Let's try this again. There we go. There we go.
Got to end them. They're on twice.
Okay, hold on. Now we lost them. We're going to try to bring them back. Here we go. Y'all here?
Yeah, now we can hear you. Sorry.
Okay.
I need to let me turn my phone on because when my phone rings, it connects to my computer, so it's being
What were
stupid.
you just saying? You were going somewhere, and I was like holding on to. I can't remember what you were about to say.
Yeah, I was. Let me go back. So I don't know. What were we talking about right before that?
About the text system, and I was like, he was like, "Oh, I've done this for 5 years, and now we're changing." And I'm like, "You haven't sent out any of those texts. I do that."
Yeah, I think what I'm saying is that when you're our personalities, and this is deep, so I just roll with me. But with our personalities, I know you guys can relate. We both have blended families, right? So we've both been married before. And so there is a trust factor that comes into play down deep in your soul that, and if you were not in a great relationship before, which all of us can probably say that you feel like the other person's going to try to take something. People work for a living, but they die for recognition. So there's this piece that, like, don't take away my recognition for what I've done. And we both do that to each other. Like, I'm going to go work my butt off and you're going to get all the credit. Right. Ooh. And we both have that. I think we can naturally all say that because we're all strong-willed people that we've worked our tail off to get everything we've ever had. So for somebody, even your spouse that you love, I mean, like, I adore this man. He's my soulmate. But there's still that piece of deep down in my soul, and I'm having just true confession breakthroughs right here. But like, there's this piece of I don't want you taking away that recognition. But when it all gets right down to it, and this is what I'm learning right now through lots of prayer, is it's all about the glory. Like, what the glory of God? What are we doing? You know what I mean? And so when it gets right down to it, does it matter? I think that's something I'm working on myself on, is that who cares?
Who cares?
As long as the end result happens, who cares? I mean, I'm not that yet.
I want to say something on that, exactly what you're talking about. I look at, like, even like somebody might be watching this, that their husband or their wife is a realtor, right? And they're keeping the 4 kids at home. You got to understand, one of them's going to get all the accolades, the Facebook posts, their pictures in the yard, but the other one is out working all of everything that we do as realtors. And it's very easy for, in a relationship, whether you're, going and doing it together, or somebody's just doing all the stuff you don't want to do. So you can put your name in the yard in a sign and go, look at me. It's like, the year I sold 81 houses by myself, and here I am, egomaniac, by myself, I did it by myself. I come home to her on New Year's Eve, Bethany, told her I was going to take her to.
I did a whole lot more that year that you're not going to say.
Oh.
I don't even know. I'm scared to death. But here's the deal. We did a lot. We had a lot of stuff. Hey,
a lot of
challenges.
What happened on New Year's?
Oh no. New Year's, I come home talking about how great I was selling 81 houses, and I told her I was going to take her to dinner, and she was like, "You're here." I got home at 9:00, Bethany, and she was like, "Is this? You got that big of an ego, man?" And it really did kind of check me. And I don't know where I was going with that. It's just a confession.
No, and I do want to add to that. Ironically enough, last week, Marty and I had tons of stuff going on. We're now the youth leaders of our
Gravel guy.
church.
Give me 2 seconds. Y'all talk. I got to tell you where to go.
The
He's
gravel
dumping
guy.
gravel on our property. Just give me.
Okay.
You're fine. You're fine. You're fine.
Okay, do it.
Hold on. He's going to get stuck in a creek.
The joys of living on a
2
farm.
days ago, but it was raining too hard and they wouldn't come out. So
Oh, yeah.
now he's
That-
calling. Okay.
And
so-
Harley, they just don't want to work. So,
Well, so we got Riley, Jay's daughter, last night to go eat, just out to eat. And it took us 3 restaurants to find anywhere we could go because they did not have enough workers. And we had to sit at the bar with her to get food. Yeah.
Well,
So-
and finish what you were going to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Last week.
So where were we?
yeah, just to keep everybody going, last week, Marty, we were running around, the kids had homecoming week. Marty and I are the youth leaders of our church. So we just took that role on. And we have a kid that we're helping right now, a teenager. So we have all this stuff going on, and I'm getting Bentley ready. And we're doing this, and I get in the truck because we're going to a listing appointment. And I sat down in the truck and I went, you know what? I have a whole new respect. I've always respected women who stay at home. I've never been that woman, but I have a whole new respect now that I'm home more for that. And I meant that. And he knew I was being 1000% genuine. It's freaking hard.
Yeah.
But see, he knows, like, he's going to do a listing appointment tonight and I'm driving 40 minutes to dance. Right.
Yeah.
So I can take care of things that he doesn't have to, so he can go be what he can do for our family.
Right. So that's why I say it doesn't matter if one's in real estate, both of you are. It does not matter. To make a household work is 2, period. Like if you have kids, it takes 2 to make that household work. And so whenever I'm talking to a woman, I'll say, hey, do you work also outside of the home?
Yeah, that's good. That's
Also
really good.
Home, because a woman works inside the home, period. I don't care if you work 3 jobs, you're working inside the home. It's just another level,
Yeah.
But do you also work outside of the home? So I think that's a good thought for everybody that's
I love it. No, it's smart.
about that, because we're all working to make a household work.
Yes.
Right. And it's just like my dad told me years ago. He's like, anybody that'll tell you a marriage is 50-50, they're lying. He said, it may be 90-10, or it may be 75-25, but you have to work together no matter what the percentage is. You have to fill in when she can't, she has to fill in when you can't. And that is so true. I mean, he told me that 25 years ago. But it is so true today. And I think that's part of the problem and I'll say this for men is, oh, well, I've worked all day long. I'm coming home and sitting in my recliner and watching the ball game while you do it. No, that's not how it's supposed to be. You're supposed to come home, and if she don't have dinner fixed, then you help her fix dinner. I mean, it's just, there's a happy medium there. And I mean, you take care of stuff. I mean, wash clothes. I teach our kids. I mean, we've got a son that's 16. He knows how to wash his own clothes because, just like I was taught, I want to be able for when he gets older and has a wife and kids, he can help his wife out too. I mean, just the little things that we can do as men to help our wives out. And I'll repeat this back to Jay, by the way, because I know he's out with the gravel guy, but I'll make sure he knows this. But I mean, it's seriously though, it is the little things that we can do. Yeah, you know what? We've had a long day. We've had 3 or 4 appointments or whatever. So what? They've been with the kids all day long. I mean, they've worked.
Which is hard.
Yeah, exactly. And even if a lot of times women do have a job outside of the home,
Right.
and so what's the difference? That's my question: is what's the difference? I mean, why is it her job to come home after she's worked for 8 or 10 hours and fix you supper, fix you dinner, whatever? I mean, that's the thing. So we pretty much have a system around here that works out. I'm the laundry guy. She likes doing once a week. I do laundry every day. Always have, always will.
I'm not doing every day. So I said, if you want laundry done every day, you're doing the laundry because I'm not doing it every day. I'll do it once a week.
but you define that. I think that that's like the
Yes.
biggest thing I think in a marriage is like, I think people come in with expectations, and that's where it all goes wrong.
You are so right.
And so it's like, if you actually talk about it and plan the expectations, it's way better. So, example, like I think I've said this on one of our other podcasts, is about the text that we send out every week. Like, we fought about that. You didn't send it out. Oh no, you didn't send it out. So it was like a big deal every week. Who sent out the text? And it was a big deal. So he finally concluded that that was my job. I'm going to do that. So then it's never been an issue ever since then until this week. And he says, well, I've sent I've sent text out. And I'm like, no, you actually haven't.
No, you never have. Well, and that's such a great point, actually.
Are a big deal. Yeah.
Well, and this is a realization to me too, because I just realized that in this new business together, we have not sat down and defined what our roles are. And we've done it in every other aspect of our life, but we've not done it in our real estate business. And maybe a lot of it's because I'm new and I'm learning, but
a lot of it is just because we've been extremely busy.
I know. And it is like we honestly, literally just head down, like it's just balls to the wall.
Gosh.
You got gravel?
Yeah, for the new barn.
That's awesome. So, but that's where we're, we have not sat down and defined those roles, and we have been busy, but you know what? Whatever, we can always be busy. There are things like, I think the most important thing I would tell a married couple is, before you do anything else, make it priority to sit down, figure out what you're good at, what you're not good at, who's doing what. Now your business can run more efficiently. I tell people all the time, if you treat it like a hobby, it'll pay you like a hobby. But if you treat it like a business, it'll pay you like a business. And in a regular business, you would never go in as a business partnership and not be clear and defined on who does what. So in a marriage, it should be the exact same thing.
But I think also, though, with like couples like us, we also think we're all good at both things.
Yes.
Okay.
We can do it all.
So like,
except I know I'm not good at paperwork.
But when you said, well, I'm not either. I actually hate it, but
I'm not either.
I have to do it.
He's not either.
Okay, we aren't either. I'm not either. So, but you said like see what you're good at. I think that there's a lot of people that are both good at it, and so I think we have to sometimes one of us has to actually choose to say, okay, like,
I'm going to do this.
I'm not going to do this, or I am going to do this. And so even though you may be equally as good at something, that is okay. And you just have to make a choice, because if
you're right, actually, that's a great point.
Right. Yeah.
Well, y'all are amazing. And I'm sorry we have a gate on our property, and there was a dump truck out there waiting at the gate. That's totally my bad. And it would have been a problem if I didn't let him in. But sorry about that. I apologize.
You're fine.
But you guys are unbelievable. And I just want to say, this has been really a great, just to be able to talk with y'all. And it really makes me feel like we're not alone, because we do have some of the same dynamics and some of the same feelings, some of the things going on. But y'all are awesome. And I really appreciate you being as transparent with this stuff today, because there are so many people out there that will get something out of this. And you guys have been seeing the Instagram rolling across the bottom, and Marty and Bethany on Facebook. Please shoot them a friend request. You got their number. We roll the cell phone if you guys want to talk to them about anything. They're right there. But I really just want to say thank y'all. Thank y'all for taking the time, because I know y'all are super busy. And this was fun. I'm sorry I had to run out there. That was crazy.
Okay, so before we wrap up, I always love to say, so each of you just think of one thing. It can be real estate, couple, or just marriage in general. I know there's a million tips you can give, but just each of you individually just say one tip. This can help your marriage. It's helped your marriage.
Oh God. Go, you can go.
I mean, I'm going to go back, and not to sound cliche, but it's communication, good or bad. I was in a previous marriage where there was no communication. And, I remember as a kid, my parents, they would start to argue and then they just clam up.
Mm.
And one would walk away. My dad would just walk away. And so what happened over the years is the resentment that built up. And what Bethany has taught me, because when we first got together, I was my dad. I'm like, I'm not fighting. I lived in that with my parents. I'm not doing that. And but she taught me that communication, good or bad, is always good. And I will say this, as far as the communication goes, I know things get heated. I just be careful, and I've done it. I've said it, and their words can kill. I mean, you have to watch what you say when you're in the heat of the moment. But I mean, for me, it's communication. And like I said, Bethany's taught me how to do that. And now we instill that in our kids. No matter what, listen, you can talk to us about sex, you can talk to us about work, you can talk to us about, future plans. You talk to us about anything. Our door is always open. Just communicate with us and everything will be okay.
That's awesome.
I love that. And I love that you even said, like, even in that communication, like, think about what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because I say it sometimes like a sunburn, like
That's a good point.
Sunburn, and somebody comes at you and touches that hurts. But then if they come back, oh, that still hurts. So it is, you can say a whole array of things that can really like wreck somebody.
Yeah.
So,
But it's just like Bethany, it's just like she said a while ago. I mean, Jay, like for us, you and I, we will forget what we said.
Yeah.
They don't forget.
No.
Don't forget, brother. You're right.
And you know what? It may not come up tomorrow, but 3 or 4 months down the road, do you remember when you said, I'm like, oh, really? We're going back there? But it's true. That's why you have to be careful in your communication. And I get frustrated with myself sometimes because my anxiety goes up so high, and then just vomit just comes out. Sometimes it's like a lot of times some of that you can't clean up. So, I mean, you just be cautious when you are communicating and when you're in the heat of the moment. That's why, like I said, when I can feel I'm about to say something I probably don't need to, I walk out of the room to clear my head.
yeah,
That's good. Bethany, what about you?
I think my tip, and this is, I'm sitting here thinking, because we always tell everybody communication's key in every situation. I think I want to talk to women specifically for a second. And I think my tip's going to be more towards women. It's a very interesting that me of all humans on this planet would ever say this. But that, God works in mysterious ways. So, but it's okay. It's okay to be you and to be strong, but it's also okay to support the man in your life to lead. Right. And because biblically, he is the leader of our home. That's biblical. And so, my tip would be that pray together. That old saying of the people that pray together, stay together. I remember, and I'm just being blunt, y'all, like God knows he's had to work on me so hard for 43 years and he works on me constantly. But mine would be to pray together and I'm not saying let the man be listen, he ain't making a decision without me. He's not doing any of that. I'm not saying I'm going to cower down. I'm not any of that. That's not how this works. But what I also know is that they by nature have to provide. That is in them. God created their DNA that way, and he created our DNA to nurture. So we have to be okay with nurturing them to support them. So then everything runs better and smoother in the household. But I would tell you, pray together, get on your knees. If things aren't going good with you, whether it's your business or whether it's your marriage, get down on your knees and pray together. And the answer always comes.
You guys are amazing. We love y'all. This has been amazing.
We love y'all
guys too.
Thank y'all so much. Okay, so we always end.
Y'all know how we end?
No.
Oh
So
yeah.
you have to do a heart.
Got to
with
do a
your
heart, which
hands.
Marty, I had never done this before.
Okay.
The
So we
Oh.
do this, and then we on the count of three, y'all have to kiss.
you have to kiss and we have to kiss.
on camera.
Camera kiss. Here we
Okay.
go.
1, 2, 3.
Mwah. Married to a realtor. Wow, y'all went long.
went long.
Wow, you kids get
Hey,
a
we gotta
real-
go. You don't want to see the next part.
Hey guys, thanks
We
for
love
doing
y'all.
this. Love y'all. You know we're here.
Love you guys.
See you guys.
And
Thanks
reach
for
out
leading
to
the way,
Marty and
guys.
Bethany. Love you guys.
Hey. Come to hey, you need to come to Smith Lake, brother.
Smith Lake, everybody.
Smith
Come see
Lake
us.
in the
It's
house,
beautiful.
Alabama.
Bye, y'all.